What do we study here?
The way of the Flurf, sir!
And what is that way?
Time fast, chat shit, no mercy, sir!
I can't hear you.
Time fast, chat shit, no mercy, sir!
Flurfspective. Flurfspective. Flurfspective.
My name's Ranty, and I am still a recovering flat earther.
Flat earthers, also known as Flurfs, often defer back to an old saying in the community, that they are truthers looking for truth. This was one of the reasons that I was sucked into the community so easily, as I too was just looking for the truth. And what better way to explore the truth than with the help of an entire community of truthers? Now, the essence of a truther is that no matter what they find, what they uncover, they will, by virtue of being held to the high standards of a truther, be just that, honest and truthful about things. That means putting your own preconceived ideas to one side and evaluating the evidence, fairly and truthfully. There should be no agenda, and therefore no need to withhold any of the truths you uncover. And more importantly, barefaced lying about things is not what truthers do. No. Yes, Nathan, I just said that. So the idea that truthers would lie simply did not cross my mind when I was actually looking for truth whilst inside the cult of Flat Earth. I had very high expectations of my fellow truth seekers and would rely upon them to keep me informed of the latest developments or discoveries inside the community. Basically, I was a complete moron for a time in thinking that all the other truthers in the community were being as thorough and honest with the truth as I was trying to be. As you can tell, now my Flurf armor has been surgically prized from my body, I am able to see their lies and strawman arguments for all that it is. Enjoy the third installment from me, Flurfspective, as I expose such blatant lies over just the past week in Flurfland. Join me as I do a little digging around Flurfland and let's see how many truthers are actually out there. Now, several weeks ago, I released an image that is totally impossible on a flat plane. The fact it also matches the curve rate expected on a globe is totally irrelevant. The point was very succinct, very simple, and even a 6-year-old could understand the logic used in the deciphering and analysis of it. Sadly, it seems that the Flurfs and the Flurf leaders have yet to reach the mental age of 3. Let's start with Word Salad. Him and I debated on Agree to Disagree recently, and I completely destroyed his argument. It was a humiliation worse than when I debated Brian's logic, aka Mr. Can't Perspective. So badly did he lose. Well, let's see what the audience said.
Can we just have a little bit of a vote from the chat? If you think that Ranty has provided the best argument tonight and won, can you please just type Ranty in the chat? If you think that Witsit Gets It has shown that this image cannot be proof of a globe, can you type Witsit Gets It? And we'll just see in the next couple of minutes where this goes. Crafty, while they're doing that, do you want to advertise your stream?
Yeah, my stream is just in relation to some of the controversy that has broken out in our...
Anyway, Word Salad retired back to the Godbusters compound. The Globebusters compound, to apply some more lube, and I sat back waiting to hear how he and the Godbusters team would respond. I didn't have to wait long. Here is Word Salad saying he came to the debate totally underprepared, with no evidence whatsoever.
It was dumb. I guess they thought that I was going to obey their parameters and come with a presentation, and I was having I'm not. I didn't create a whole presentation and study the nonsense that he did.
Here is Word Salad claiming we can see all the way down to the bottom of the mountains on the full image.
And they chopped off the left side. The left side is like a black swan. Dude, you can see the windmill to the base. You can see the mountains to the base. Dude, you can see the bottom of the mountains just to the left of the picture that they cropped out. In that very picture, to the left that they cut out is a black swan. It's where you can see too far. Right. It's just one image. It's a professional photograph, dude. And they chopped out the left side of it, dude, where the horizon is way further back and you can see the base of the mountains. Dude, you can see the base of the mountains right to the left of where they cut it off, bro. And right to the left of it, dude, where the land ends, there's a little more water. You can see all the way to the terrain that leads up to the bottom of the mountains.
Here was my debunk of that claim to Word Salad's face on the debate. And just to clarify, there is around 180 to 200 meters of land missing from the bottom of that mountain. But also, there's a nice little windmill here that was picked out by Sleeping Warrior. And when we did the calculations on that, we used the actual Bev's image, which actually showed up all the rest of the wind turbines. We actually found that, no, there is no proof here of any kind of flatness. In fact, where the horizon intersects the land, you're looking at that mountain that those wind turbines are sitting on. There's around about 180, 190 meters of missing from that particular mountain. So I'm sorry, Witsit, but just because you've heard somebody claiming on different debate platforms that this is some kind of black swan because of a smudge, you clearly haven't done the research. I did the research. This turbine that's on the hill has a hub height, a maximum hub height of just 41 meters. And as you can see, that hub height here is right here. And you can see that it's right on the horizon. So I am sorry, Witsit, but there is no flat Earth proof here. Here is WordSolid saying the horizon is too far.
The left side shows the horizon too far. Where's the geometric horizon? Can you point it out? Where's the Earth curve in here? If there's a proving Earth curve, can you draw it? Where's that?
However, I got him to say where the horizon was on the debate. Right, okay, so just to be clear, just so that I heard correctly what you said, you are identifying this area here. If this line, you are identifying that line there as the horizon, correct?
Well, it's where the sky appears to meet the ground, yeah.
And then I showed him the channel marker at 5.69 miles away that sits on the horizon, well within the geometric horizon's margin. Okay, and would you agree then that this object, which is clearly defined, is essentially on the horizon?
Well, yeah, I mean, it could be further than the horizon or closer than the horizon.
You've identified this area as being the horizon, and you wanted to talk about some objects, and you could claim that it was further away. I'm just trying to say, if this is an object that can be identified, we can then establish where the horizon is, correct?
Well, you would have to claim that that's right where the horizon is, and therefore you'd have to know for a fact that you're seeing the entirety of it all the way to the bottom, right? And then relative location to the horizon, which is why the sky appears to meet the ground. This is why you keep on trying to shift it back over to me, because I'm asking you very simply, just cut to it, is this geometric horizon a physical obstruction of Earth curvature or not?
Yeah, my point is very simple, though. It's because you've made a claim that the horizon is further than it should be. And what I'm saying is that I can identify objects in this image and prove to you that that's not the case. You've already identified that this line here is the horizon. And I can demonstrate that this object here that sits on the horizon is about the exact same distance you'd expect to be away on a globe for it to meet the horizon. Now, you said that this line was the horizon, but you also claimed earlier that you're seeing further than you should do. But I also presented proof before regarding this wind turbine over here. This turbine here that's only 41 meters tall, its base is at 220 meters or 218 meters above sea level. So that stem is 41 meters, right? How many of those stems to go all the way down to 220 meters would you have to put in?
Oh, we can't see it.
You can clearly see that even Sleeping Warrior identified it, Brian's Logic identified it. The turbine was also picked out by Bev Try Thinking. This turbine is very clear on both images, and we know its hub height, we know its position, we know where it is, we know its elevation too. And that says that right here, if you're going to claim that this line is the horizon, you're looking at about 180 meters missing of this mountain that this turbine sits upon. Also, I want to show you Google Earth because, you talked about, I talked about the channel marker. The channel marker is only 5.68 miles away. That's how far that channel marker is away from the observer, right? So when we go back to the image and we look over here and we look at this channel marker sitting on the horizon, which you claimed you identified this was where the horizon is. Well, I'm going to say that matches up perfectly to the globe Earth. Now, you made the claim that you could see further, and I'm asking, where are you seeing further in this image? Here is WordSolid claiming it was a little bitsy channel we debated on.
They moved it to this little bitty channel.
Basically, they want it on a little bitty channel.
Well, this little bitsy channel has 7,100 subscribers, far more than WordSolid's. Here he claims that the moderators were on my side.
Of course, we got Conspiracy Cats and this other female that are both like on his side while they're basically trying to help out Ranty and ask me questions also. And then you have Conspiracy Cats and this female, and then Ranty and I, and you just have them trying to ask me questions. The female moderator like, okay, well, do you have this and that? Like, what are you debating? Like, what's going on? Like, it was just ridiculous. It was really weird.
Now let's listen to how Super Flurf Bob Nodell debunks the image.
You know, honestly, his argument, you know, I started looking at that very closely, and it is so deceptive and unbelievable, you know, what they're trying to pull off there. You know, he wrote me and is telling me about, oh yeah, this is absolutely convincing evidence. And I looked at it and I said, dude, you've had 6 years worth of absolute ball busting killers, and you post a deceptive, cropped picture, and then you ignore perspective, and then you claim that this is the ball proof. It's like, wow, dude, I don't believe for 1 second that you're for real on this.
Yes, Bob, that should certainly put the matter to rest there. Notice how he mentions cropped image, and I will get to that later. But I think the best part was this, from the Morgile, who makes this astonishing claim.
Yeah.
They come out and say it. Human cloning is always on the table as a possibility.
So what do you guys think? Am I a human clone of the Ranty, formerly known as Ranty Flat Earth? Please let me know in the comments. So that was the Godbusters' response to the image and the debate. Were they even watching the same channel? Now let's go to the Nathan Oakley channel and listen to one of his shows. In it, master debater himself, Nathan Oakley, is going to make some claims. Master Bater, from the ever-popular Nathan Oakley Flat Earth debates, wants to try and build up some lies and strawmen of his own to use. Let's start with his first strawman, observer height. Now, as stated before, the original claim was that this image is impossible on a flat plane. The claim was not about the globe. Take a listen.
Next week, myself and Ranty and hopefully Ruhif are going to be doing a live stream where we really break down this image and show beyond any doubt whatsoever that this is an impossibility on a flat Earth.
Now, the observer height is only of any real relevance when they are trying to reverse the burden of proof back onto the globe. This is a subtle tactic used quite effectively in the past, but you know what? I know all of their tricks. Let's show you.
We have hundreds of hours of people debating with us, telling us how important the heights are, and how critically important it is to have the correct height now. Oh, the efforts we had to go to when it was us making the claim. And they haven't even ascertained the actual height of the observation yet. We've had, so far to date, 6 observation heights.
So his argument about observer height is a total red herring. It is irrelevant to the argument. A difference of a couple of meters changes nothing in the grand scheme of things. It is just a distraction to hoodwink the Flurfs who are listening and to remove their gaze from the actual point. But if Master Beta can get a few more strawman arguments and lies thrown in, he can bury the claim under a mountain of shit. Next, he moves on to it being a black swan image.
We've also got a black swan that we're being told we're not allowed to talk about, only the cherry-picked image.
In other words, he is claiming we can see far further than you should on a globe.
And the distance to the horizon in this image is...
That water marker. Any chance of identifying that in terms of relations to black swan? That would be very useful if we got a distance for that on the picture. Yeah, on that right on the far left. Yeah, there.
Well, here's a channel marker, and it is just 5.69 miles away from the observer. This marker sitting on the apparent horizon is in no way a shore-to-shore observation. The areas known as Goads Barrow and Roosbeck are situated in this area and are at a distance of 32.3 miles away. Now that's a problem for the Black Swan argument. Wouldn't it be better to tell the audience the truth, being that you're supposedly a truth seeker? Or is this convenient lie another way of distracting from the evidence? Next, Master Beta called me a liar after we claimed we got the image off Twitter and it had already been cropped.
And assert in a picture where we haven't got the problem of a geometric horizon to have to defend if we crop the image. That's what your Earth curve is. Well, not anymore. So you're going to go to some obscure mountains that are blocked by a piece of land in the foreground so you can deny that you can even see Earth curve after cropping the Earth curve on the left out of the image? It's pathetic. Oh, we didn't until they cropped it out with their Texas sharpshooter fallacy. It's all disastrous. Thanks, cats.
No, this is the actual original.
Gotcha. I see. So when they say they got the... Yeah, we covered that. I think Brian covered that in fairly extensive detail. Ranty's a liar.
The Flat Earth debate team have long spoken about this mysterious cropped image, and that the reason it was cropped was to hide some proofs on the left-hand side. Except that is not the case, is it? So along with the wind turbine and the channel marker, this is pretty conclusive that the left-hand side held nothing of interest for the Flurf cause, except that it was just a good distraction. Now, as stated earlier, the claim was I had lied about it being pre-cropped. Yet, here we have, on that very show, the Adam Meakin looking through the Twitter feed, finding the cropped image, and then Masturbator whipping it off screen before anybody could take it in.
I have not seen this Twitter account with this crop photo. I didn't see that. We're told that's the situation. Maybe true, but it may not be true. Maybe there wasn't a crop photo on Twitter. Maybe they did get a photo off of Twitter.
So this is the one. So it comes with the statement that this is not the full picture. There's more of it. Now, I've gone to his webpage, his Twitter page, and you can see I can't actually see that tweet, which is weird, around about the 26th. But if you look at it, everything else around it has got the full image. Everything else he's pimping around this time has got the full image. So to me, it has to be either the worst researchers ever or a conscious decision. Maybe not to have physically cropped that image themselves, but to have used the cropped image.
So who's Kevin Jackson? Ruhif?
But this is the guy that took the picture, yeah. And is selling it and the likes.
I see. So this is the photographer, not Ruhif.
No, this is the actual original.
Gotcha. I see. So when they say they got the... Yeah, we covered that. I think Brian covered that in fairly extensive detail. Ranty's a liar. I mean, Ruhif is also a liar, as I covered earlier. He drew tangents to Earth curve and claimed they were getting in the way of the Isle of Man. Shh! Don't mention the lighthouse.
Which one of these guys are going to go lay on the beach on their belly? Like,
you see, keeping the lie was better than admitting you made a mistake. But character assassination is always good when trying to throw more shit on the fire.
I personally think that he went over to the Globe side because, the money was better for one, because they were, pretty much showering him with all kinds of money. And the other thing is I think that he was getting bullied so bad from people like, Nathan Oakley and Sleeping Warrior and all that, he just didn't want to play anymore. So he thought he would teach us a lesson and go over to the baller side.
Here, the narrative is being set as others pile in.
And they chopped off the left side. The left side is like a black swan. Dude, you can see the windmill to the base. You can see the mountains to the base. Dude, you can see the bottom of the mountains just to the left of the picture that they cropped out. In that very picture, to the left that they cut out is a black swan. It's where you can see too far. Right. It's just one image. It's a professional photograph, dude. And they chopped out the left side of it, dude, where the horizon's way further back and you can see the base of the mountains. Dude, you can see the base of the mountains right to the left of where they cut it off, bro. And right to the left of it, dude, where the land ends, there's a little more water. You can see all the way to the terrain that leads up to the bottom of the mountains.
And you post a deceptive, cropped picture.
But again, there is nothing to the left-hand side. It can be easily deciphered, but it isn't as straightforward as the hugely impressive tower and mountain behind, where you can most certainly see what's going on. So what have the Flurf Elite done this week in trying to debunk this image that shows conclusive proof that it is impossible on a flat plane? Well, let's see. Word Salad brought no calculations to the debate at all. No research whatsoever. Word Salad claims you could see shore to shore. Total lies. Super Flurf claimed I had been turned because of other flat earthers. Total lie. Super Flurf claimed I had been showered with money to change sides. A total lie. Word Salad, Super Flurf, and Masturbator all claimed the image was purposely cropped to hide the flat earth. A total lie. Master Beta claimed the observer heights are important to our claim. Remind you, our claim was impossible on a flat plane. So your argument is a red herring. Master Beta claimed it was a black swan image. Total lie. How does a normal Flurf expect you to believe you are a genuine truth seeker when you lie so much and make so much shit up that you really do follow rule number 1? If all else fails, make shit up. Why should the Flurf believe a single word you say when all you lot do is lie through your back teeth, create strawman arguments and red herrings, rather than be the ultimate definition of a truther? And through all of this, they are still yet to address the argument, the tower and the hill, their relative sizes, and the very clear visual markings on the hill which show at least 350 metres below eye level. Now, why is eye level so important? It is because we do not rely on the geometric horizon for the calculation. Here we know 3 positions: the observer point, the town of Blackpool, and the tower and the big wheel. Also the hills behind. What do these things have in common? Well, when the tide is in, all 3 areas are essentially surrounded by water. The water comes right up to the beach of the observer, it fills up the channel between the observer and Blackpool, and on the other side, it fills up the channel between Fleetwood and Barrow-in-Furness. In the beliefs of the Flurfs, water always finds its own level. It is horizontal, level. You shine lasers across it and stuff. Now, the best way to get through to a Flurf is to actually become a Flurf again and use Flurf technology to get your points across. We know Del, from Beyond the Imaginary Curve channel, loves a bit of water sports. Here he is, standing in the rain.
Does it get any more ridiculous than that?
Here he is, splashing around in his swimming pool.
Oh. And now you can see that it tilts it.
And here he is pouring water all over his balls.
I don't know what's happening, but it doesn't appear to be filling up to the shape of the ball. It seems to be running off the bottom here.
Here we have Can't Perspective, playing in the kitchen and having a whale of a time moving things around the table.
So I move it there now. And you can see that it's occulting it. Even though it's on a flat plane, it's occulting it. I move it back in, and there you go. Right? It changes back more into its actual size as opposed to its angular size.
So yes, it does seem that if we have to try and communicate with the Flurfs, what we need is to employ some Flurf kitchen science. And that will require some water and, of course, some kitchen goods. Here we go.
Now today's video is going to be about Flurf kitchen science. Now then, you may not have heard of this before, but trust me, it is a tried and tested technique that many flat earthers have used in the past. But in order to get into the mindset of this, I'm missing a very vital piece of equipment. Now this is better, so now we can begin. First, let's start with this tin of rice pudding that is going to represent the mountains in the image of Blackpool. Next we have some lemon, which is going to represent Blackpool Tower. This is an egg.
This is an egg.
No, this is an egg.
This is an egg.
Anyway, the egg is not going to be used in today's presentation. Sorry, Tony. But here we have an OXO cube, and this is definitely going to make it. This is going to be our observer position. Now, Flurf kitchen science has been around for a few years now. It's becoming more popular though, and what you will find is that it doesn't really matter if the objects you're trying to represent are the correct sizes. For instance, this mountain here is not an exact to scale size as Blackpool Tower, not by a long shot. And they're certainly not the right distance away, but that doesn't matter to Flurf science. I'm telling you now, it really doesn't, because if you was to scale these properly and put them the correct distances apart, it may not produce a flat Earth result, and you don't want that happening. So Kevin Jackson, when he took this image, he was over in Southport at the Velvet Trail, and he would have been here represented by this OXO cube right here. And obviously Blackpool Tower is here. This is what he was filming. And behind it, we had the mountains. Now, Kevin Jackson didn't do this for some kind of flat earth or globe earth proof. It just so happened that the mountains were all beautifully lit this day, and he thought, do you know what, that would take an excellent photograph. And he had a good camera too, so he was able to take a fantastic picture. What also helped was that it was at low tide. Now then, something you may not know, but normally in this location, right here, this channel, this estuary, would fill up with water at most parts of the day, because that's where the tide would come in. It just so happened, because it was at low tide, the water had removed itself. It wasn't there, it had gone. And he had a clear line of sight to Blackpool without any water affecting the observation. Also, on the other side of Blackpool, we have another area here that fills up with water. Funnily enough, it goes all the way back here. But what's interesting is that it goes all the way around Blackpool and all the way to the bottom of these mountains. The distance is about 32 miles of water. Now that's quite a long way, especially if you're on the flat plane, especially if you believe that water always finds its own level, because that is the mantra that the flat earthers use. Horizontal, level, horizontal, level. Welcome to Bev's world, and many others, bearing in mind, who have hopped on this gravy train. And it is a gravy train. Now, can we use horizontal and level? Can we use that to determine what's going on in this image? Well, yes, you can. Because if you're on a flat plane and you know that your observer height here was at 10 meters, let's just say for argument's sake, it doesn't matter whether you're at 6, 10, 12 or 15, it makes no difference, especially if you're working it on a flat plane. But we'll say 10. Let's say 10 meters for argument's sake. Now you're at 10 meters here, above the water. Now you know the water goes all the way to Blackpool, and you know that there's a little Ferris wheel, well, not so small actually, quite a large Ferris wheel on Central Pier. And you know where the base of that Central Pier is and where the Ferris wheel is above the water. You know that. There's plenty of images out there that show you this exact thing. So if you can determine that you are at 10 meters here, you can easily pick where 10 meters is in this image based upon what you can see in the photograph. So now what you have is a eye line, eye level from point A to point B. And all the way across, if you're living on a flat plane, you would be skirting across the water at a horizontal distance of 10 meters all the way across. And because the water then carries on much further and it goes all the way to the base of these mountains down here, we know now that we can also apply where eye level would meet these mountains over here. So if you're at 10 meters here and 10 meters here, then 10 meters would intersect the mountain right here. Now then, that would mean that you would see about 99% of this mountain. The problem is, we only see about 50% of it. That's a problem, especially if you're on a flat plane. See, you see where this says rice pudding here? See the pudding part? Yeah, that's about the eye level that you can determine in this picture. So let me show you. If I was to bring this down to about here, now you have eye level to Blackpool Tower, using the water as a judge, to eye level here, where the mountains are, means that you're intersecting the mountain about halfway down. Now that's a big problem, don't you think? But I think it proves the point. So there we have it, Flurf Kitchen Science. I hope you enjoyed the presentation.
That's right. Who needs a pesky horizon to figure out what's going on here? Eye level all the way, baby. Hashtag thanks, Bev.
I did watch a bit of Ranty's video, and might have found out another reason why he's turned back to the ball. Sounds like he's not been drinking his mandatory pint of piss that all flat earthers have to drink every day.
Okay guys, so today I've been a little bit busy and decided to go and take another observation of the Old Man of Coniston and Dow Crag. Now they're the two mountains that are directly behind Blackpool Tower. But rather than go to the place in Southport, what I thought I'd actually do is find a direct line of sight to that and actually go to that spot and take it from there. Now this is where he took the observation from down here in Southport, as you can see. And the Old Man of Coniston and Dow Crag are here. There we go. And in order to find a direct line of sight to that, all I had to do was find a place in Blackpool where I could go and actually take an observation from. So what I found was that this place here at Ginn Square, this place here, right on the corner. So this is Ginn Square here. And obviously you've got the pub here, Ginn Square down here. And I took some photography from here, and I also took a video as well. And what I was able to do was, from this position here, I was able to look across this little jetty here, as you can see. And this is like a racetrack where you can do dodgems and stuff down there, car racing. And as you can see, this direct line of sight here, where it intersects the wall there. And you'll see this in the video, and then I'll show you a comparison and an overlay to see how much of Dow Crag and how much of the Old Man of Coniston is hidden in the original image from Southport. Here we go. So this is quite devastating for the flat earthers here, who have been holding out for some kind of Hail Mary, I would think, to try and save them from this devastating proof. And here we go. From this location, you can actually see just how much of the mountain you should be able to see. Now, this is quite a problem for the flat earthers, as you can imagine, and watching them spiral is quite funny. So let's see what happens in the future. Let's see what they come up with next. But as for now, that's me, and I'll see you all in the next one. So that's been a deep dive into the Flurf leaders, and as to whether or not they are truth seekers, or just plain lying zealots.
Chin chin.